Well, great morning, everyone. So this morning I pulled cards for an open read, and basically what I've gotten so far is about family dynamics coming out of a negative, if you will, background of family dynamics. So what I got, the outside influence, is about the long term, moving forward mentally when you feel like you've faced loss. Okay, so how to move forward for the long term when you've faced loss. What's driving it is the magician, which is a lot of smoke and mirrors. Okay, that's the way magicians are, and but you could use the tools at your disposal to make changes. But many times again, this magician is all smoke and mirrors, manipulation in what you've been fed emotionally. Okay, so you've been fed these things emotionally, and I call them illusions of truth, things that you believe that are not true, okay? And again, for the long term, this is about moving forward out of that. So the reading coming into it, the first thing I got that's driving it is what's hidden. And what's hidden is your life path, the choices that you're going to make. It's about holding on to your power, how you're going to use your actions mentally, okay? Using your actions going forward, okay? So the energy coming into it is coming out of an abuse of power. When you have been felt like you have been, again, controlled by what? Family. Controlled by family, arguments, strife, problems, difficulties. The energy coming into it is the difficulties of families that you've had. So what's going on now? It's about the energy, how the energy is moving, okay, under everything, what's been handed out, and the burden you feel because of what you've been handed in your past, and so now you carry the burden of it. Like they say, the sins of the father are visited on the son. The Bible, the drama that they've had, they project onto the kids. Okay? So the challenge is the dark drama that's been there, and being able to walk away and distance yourself from the family dynamics. Okay? So it's about the potential outcome is about needing to take control, leadership, putting into motion an abundance, or what's being birthed when it comes to the seeds and the harvest. So you've got to plant things that are beneficial rather than going into the spin of the dynamic of the abuse and the things that you were fed that have basically railroaded your life into a spin of negativity. Maybe you've been told you're not pretty. Maybe you've been told that you'll never have success. Maybe you've been told, it doesn't matter what you've been told, but these things are driving you in your life. And so you need to plant new seeds to get a better harvest. If you sit and you look at these things, I say, these are the things you have to sit with. And if you look at it, really, really get to the bottom of it, you can pull those negativities out, okay? You pull those negativities out, and you see that the things that you were told as a child had nothing to do with you, that it had to do with your parents' failings, with their drama. So when you see really that it had nothing to do with you, you can release that. You can start to release it. So let's go ahead and do a clarifying read and see what else it's going to tell us about this drama. Okay, so the center of it all, first thing out are the things you're holding to. The things you've got, okay, that you're holding to, your belief system that you've got when it comes to the family, and agreements, okay? So you're holding on to these dramas from the emotional things coming out of the family. And so concretely, you're holding on to this in a shared agreement. But let's see, when it comes to the family drama, okay, yeah, you looked at them as the leadership, the spiritual, the guidance, etc., of the negative force, and that's what you are holding on to. Okay, so it's about the things that they continued to put out there that you're holding on to. So the agreement is you've got this burden now of energy weighing you down, and the craziness of it all, okay? The fantasy, the illusion, the drama, the negative spin that you are now weighed down by, and what you're holding on to when it comes to what's being birthed, the abundance of things that are pushing you to the edge, okay? So let's see. It's about the manipulation, okay? And again, the takeaway, the things you're carrying, the things you keep looking over your shoulder about, of the manipulations. So what's being built in your world, okay? So it's about going forward when it comes to the messages at hand, information, and maybe things that need to be sacrificed, or maybe some things were sacrificed. You're in a holding pattern and you want justice, okay? So again, it's about, the spiritual path is about not running away from your things. And I see people all the time on this running away and not willing to sit and look. And that's why the Buddhist path, you have 3 years, 3 months, 3 days in a retreat. And in these retreats, you're sitting there in an isolated area. Many times they're up in the caves. And you have to sit with your mind. Okay, that's what it's about. It's about confronting the mind, the thoughts, the spin, the drama. Okay? Because there's nothing out there. Or if you're doing another one, a retreat where you're sitting, and it's a silent retreat, just sitting, and you're confronting the mind, and the mind is going to have all sorts of mind play and drama going on, and there's really nothing happening that is causing that, because you are isolated. You're just sitting, okay? And so it's about this going forward. So, it's about what you're offering up. Emotions, the emotions that come up, and the drama. And the only thing that's happening in that moment is you're sitting, viewing these things, looking at it. So it's about not running away from the fears, the dynamics, the drama that continues to come up, to see that it's an illusion of truth. Okay? When you get to the bottom of it, you can pull that out by the root, and it's got no more way to continue to basically have weeds grow up and choke you. Okay? So you've got to plant new seeds. It's about looking at these things and seeing that the things you're driven by really have nothing to do with you in the end, things that were fostered upon you. And again, picking your own path, seeing through these illusions. And again, the only thing that you find out in the end when you reach enlightenment is the only thing you need to be freed from was the mental drama. Okay, the rest of it's just fine. The rest of it is a moment in time, an experience. The experiences come and they go. Okay? And so that's what you find. The mind gets washed free of all the extraneous drama in enlightenment. Okay? That's it. The mind stills. You no longer have that revolving mind. Okay? So part of the path is being in the moment. If you have the mental drama coming up, then you do bring yourself back to this moment. The only thing that's happening now, if I had mental drama coming in right now, I'd say the only thing that's happening is I'm sitting here, I'm talking, and I'm reading the cards. And you cut off the extraneous drama. So on that note, I'll leave that here, and we'll see you online.